round 2 is myths and legends, and first up we have Phil.
Woo! Hello everyone, how are you?
Hello.
The Victorians were very fond of their ghost stories. Throughout the period there were reports of pale human-like figures stalking their way through London, and it's believed these were the foundations of the stories behind Spring-Heeled Jack. The first reports of Our Man Jack surfaced in around 1837 after a servant girl by the name of Mary Stevens was attacked on Clapham Common by a man with claws, skin cold and clammy as those of a corpse. He ripped at her clothing and kissed her face, only to run when she started screaming.
I love that it's like when she started screaming, because initially she had mixed feelings.
She wasn't fussed at first. He said, "Oh, he might be a nice boy."
It happens in Clapham a lot.
'Twas the very next day he struck again, only this time witnesses saw him jumping and escaping over a 9-foot-high wall. That was the start of Spring-Heeled Jack.
A 9-foot-high wall isn't that high.
Yeah, but
he
people were
just
short in them days.
Like tiny. They were all little people in those days.
You can do that without a catapult, like in them days. Or trebuchet.
Trebuchet. Hang on, isn't trebuchet the one that fires you into the wall?
No.
No.
Trebuchet is a catapult, but with a sling on the back to wait for inspectors.
Oh, that's...
You're thinking
okay.
of ballista.
Ballista, that's the one, yeah. Anyway, bounded over a 9-foot wall. Sorry to interrupt you.
Boom. The main focus of Jack seems to be a grotesque character with oily skin, red eyes, claws, and one hell of a vertical leap, who attacked mainly women throughout the entire Victorian period, throughout London, and later moving to Sheffield. He's accredited with causing people to have fits, people being frightened to death, and, of course, claw-based injuries. At no point can I see in my research a motive for this character. He appears to be a boogeyman, a legend to scare children, and something for the newspapers to report about. But the devil-like character was very popular. He was even reported in 1995 in the US. He touches various media throughout the 19th and 20th centuries and even into the 21st. He had a film, books, he was even mentioned in Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Spring-Heeled Jack is definitely a character who catches the imagination.
Because I've heard of him, but I didn't actually know what he was.
I'd heard of him, and then I did some
So
research.
it's a guy that needs a manicure that can do the high jump and has rickets, yeah?
Basically an ugly guy, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But it was a strange one. All the reports vary, different instances.
Yeah.
I just love the idea that it's like he was in London and then he went to Sheffield. Like at some point he just went to St Pancras. It's like, ticket for one, please.
That's 6 shillings, please, mate. Actually, that's quite expensive, isn't it?
Probably was.
Well, no, there were lots of reports where things like he dressed up as a police officer and scared women that way, and he had big old, like, blue glowing eyes sometimes, and sometimes red glowing eyes, and the stories changed.
so basically he was just some guy each time and then went, oh, it must have been that Spring-Heeled fellow.
Yes, it was one of those urban legends that people like to blame things on.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack done it. But the thing I find interesting is, of course, in that period is Jack the Ripper, quite a famous, nasty man from back in the day. And what?
That's murder. He's a nasty man.
He was not very nice. Oh, he's a wrong 'un.
Oh,
He's
him
just
and our
a
Adolf
naughty
would get-
boy.
But you think use of the name Jack, they were both... Was Jack associated with nasty people back then? Was it just, Jack the Lad, Jack the Ripper?
Jack of all trades,
Spring-Heeled Jack.
master of none, just being slightly shoddy at everything.
Quite a few
I'm a
Jacks.
Jack of all trades. It's all right. I don't have.
Are you on
17.
Checkatrade?
No.
3 stars on every profile.
Yeah, and I wrote every one myself. So that's my fact.
Interesting.
Spring-Heeled Jack and stuff.
Nice. All right, next up we've got Laura.
Okay, well, I came across some weird Victorian superstitions for my myths and legends.
Cheeky.
I know. So I'm just going to run through them very quickly. Putting a garment on inside out apparently brings good luck. Throwing the first pancake to the hens on Shrove Tuesday will give you plenty of eggs for the rest of the year. Placing new shoes on the table means the wearer will die within the year. Drinking elderberry juice is a powerful charm against warts. Killing a spider brings bad luck. Planting yellow flowers in the garden makes sure the family will be protected from witches. Planting a leek somewhere on the house, specifically on the house,
A leak on the roof.
Leaks.
prevents the house from catching fire.
Yeah, I think that might be a slight miss.
No, it was meant to be planted in a crack of the walls or within the drain pipes itself. It did specify within my source.
So it's not long like...
Yeah, no. But what I mean is I think that at some point someone has just said, oh, well, if your house has got a leak, it's probably not going to catch fire, and then someone's written that down wrong.
Well, tell
No,
that
no.
to the Victorians,
That's what I'm saying to the
Kirby.
Victorians.
Yes, Kirby, get on your time phone.
Oh,
Turning your money over in your pocket while staring at the moon will double your money. Swallowing a spider in butter is a cure for whooping cough.
but isn't killing
Yeah,
a
killing
spider
a spider's
was
bad luck.
Yes, that is what I previously said, but apparently swallowing a spider in butter is a cure for whooping cough.
But you'd have bad luck though.
Bad luck.
well,
but
it-
no
We'd
whooping
probably
cough.
catch whooping
Or,
cough again.
I think it's worse
Shit.
the idea that you might try and poop out a live spider just so that you have good luck.
He'd find his own way out.
Or there was that old woman who ate the spider. Who swallowed the fly to swallow the spider to something.
Swallow the spider, catch the
The
fly.
something inside her. I think that was just a woman. No, let's not go there.
And
thinking of
finally, rocking an empty cradle means there's a baby on the way. Well, obviously,
Yeah,
if
you've got a cradle.
It's just wishful
God's
thinking.
sake.
Come on, will you two get up off?
It's like, oh, I've bought a Blu-ray player. Blu-ray's on the way. Well, yeah. You bought the receptacle for it.
Do you know, to this day, I've now always wondered why my nan would shout at me when new shoes went on the table.
Yeah. Or I was thinking Blues Brothers. Not Blues Brothers. Blood Brothers.
Very different. very different.
Yeah, shoes upon the table.
Yeah.
Something spider. Mirrors and shit. Yeah.
Mirrors and shit.
Yeah. That's what I remember. But the thing about putting your clothes on inside out? What about when you put your pants on back to front?
I think that counts.
I do
And
that quite a lot.
If
It's
that
all roomy in the front.
Not good if you're wearing a
Well,
thong.
I would have loved that if that had ever happened in 24. Like, did you know if he's just like, he's always doing stuff in like a really kind of composed, clear way. If he just puts his pants on, he's like, oh, he's all roomy in the front. He's on back to front. Terrorists are getting a wind. He has to take them off, put them back on. He's like, oh, these are yesterday's pants.
I've wasted 10 minutes with
You
this.
would have noticed that on the first pull. They've always got a very different texture.
Well, we both know how often I put my clothes inside out, so. I also really like the throwing the first pancake to the hens on Shrove Tuesday, because you see me with do my pancakes. The first pancake is always rubbish.
I think
Why don't I
everyone's
have any
first
hens?
pancake is always.
Yeah.
Mine was amazing.
Goes to the dog.
Is it?
I just wanted to be different. And you lot. You
Oh.
rubbish pancakes. So do you have to have hens for that?
Well, you can't really have a
You
good
can't,
harvest from the
yeah.
hens without having hens.
It's
What
the
is-
first pancake is always rubbish. It's because the oil's not quite at the heat it should be. It's not really consistent. So it's like it's the one that you eat whilst your guests are waiting, and then pretend you're like, oh no, I'm so dainty, I couldn't possibly eat another pancake. I've only had the one, and you've snaffled like 3 because they were horrible. They were mutants.
The oil's just not quite right yet.
So yes, those are my weird Victorian superstitions.
Cool. Next up we have Kath.
My one is basically about faked photography. Due to the rise of photography done with film rather than with metal plates to expose photos, Victorian conmen saw the financial opportunity of doctoring ghosts and apparitions into photographs. Spirit photography was first recorded in Boston, practiced by William H. Mumler in the 1860s.
Good name.
Mumler discovered the technique when he double exposed an image by accident, making it seem as if there were 2 people in the picture. Under the guise of being a medium, Mumler would take people's photos and doctor the negatives to add a lost loved ones into them using other photographs. His fraud was finally discovered after he put citizens in photos of spirits who were recognised by the local residents as still being alive.
I just love the fact that even in Victorian times, someone's just gone, I could fuck with a lot of people. Fuck yeah.
I just like the idea that he didn't think, okay, I'll take the batch of photos from that town and keep them for
For this town.
the town of, a good few miles down where they won't possibly know each other, etc. No,
I love that this is kind of like they did ghost photo shoots as well. He's just had to have a whole load of people. But what's more weird about Victorian times is that they were quite big on taking pictures of people when they were dead, particularly dressing them up.
that was part of the thing. It was a case of how to remember them, and you had to also photograph them in a live position.
Yeah,
which
with a card that said, "Guess who's dead?"
It's like, we held him here for an hour holding a tennis racket.
yeah.
Well, they also used to have those the ones for babies as well. Did you ever
Yes.
see those ones?
Yes, those are creepy as
No,
shit.
not dead babies.
No, I've seen dead babies.
No.
What?
Sixth Sense kind of a bit.
Receive dead babies.
Yeah, I'm like the Sixth
Yes,
Sense
officer.
nanny.
I'm with him now.
No, there's the one where
She's not.
You've got the ones where you want to take a photo of a baby, but you want them to sit still at the same time. So you basically get like
Opium.
the nanny or something like that in a sheet that kind of looks a bit like the background. And you just have this hand across the baby, and this little baby will be sat there. And
Yeah, no, I've seen those, yeah.
Yeah.
I can kind of get that because in modern day like adverts and stuff, you know, when you've got a plate of steaming hot food, it's sat there. That's stone cold. What they do is they take a tampon, soak it in water, put it in the microwave, and then stick it under the lip. So that's where all the steam's coming from.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, ice cream is actually mashed potato.
Yeah, that's what it was in the Borrowers when they've got the big pot of chocolate chocolate ice cream and they're shoveling it into their face. It's dyed cold mashed potato and
Yum yum yum. Yum 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 yum.
It's so good.
oh, the wonders of show business.
Yep.
I know that the stuff they pour on cornflakes for the cornflake advert is PVA glue.
Really?
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
more opaque than normal milk, isn't it?
Yeah.
It falls in a different
And it
way.
goes, and does
Oh, the sploosh.
yeah, the
There's
whole
that whole
sploosh.
thing about stuff being varnished as well. Like you just varnish food, varnish a kebab.
McDonald's food, just all of it. When have
Yeah.
you ever brought something from McDonald's
That didn't
or
look
other
varnished.
fast food restaurants and it's looked like it has on the sign?
Well, I think that's more because the retailer's making it, but yeah.
But still.
Right, so for round 2, myths and legends, are we going with Phil's Spring-Heeled Jack, Laura's Victorian superstitions, or Kath's phantom photos? Phil.
I like the phantom photos.
As do I.
I like the superstitions, but I have been outvoted to victory. So I've won.
There's a fourth.
Shut up.
Who's letting him vote?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter who you vote for because I've got 2 votes.
Yeah, but the other person can get 2 votes and then win with you.
But if
Shut
you two
up.
are getting if you two are getting 2 votes each and we only get 1 each, that's racist.
How do you get 2 votes each? That would be 6. This is 4. I will go with Victorian superstitions as well.
Oh, you are such a twat.
Laura and Kath win the round. Yay!
You couldn't let me just have it, could you?